well, I don't really believe in sins. So I don't think, like, those things are inherently bad, and I think they're part of human experience, and that us thinking that they're bad makes us worse off and probably leads to more distortions than if we just were like, oh, like, I have envy. I don't know, kind of like if we all owned those things more, yeah, it wouldn't be so problematic. But I kind of skirted around the question. I don't know, I think, yeah, to me, like, the disowning of our own shadow, so to speak, our own emotions and feelings that we think are bad, or we shouldn't show, like, oh, I shouldn't show people that I'm really selfish, like I should pretend that I'm not selfish, and I should pretend that I care about everybody, like all these things that people are like, oh, no, I can't show the world that, or I can't even be honest about that to myself. That's like what's causing the most discord in humanity.
To be honest, I'm not totally sure, but I like the idea of reincarnation. I don't think it, just like how a lot of people say, it just all goes black, because then that like implies that your consciousness is just like thrown into a void. And I don't think your ego is preserved like that to the point where it can be perceptive of just a blackness. And so I don't think it's like you aware of your individual self in a nothingness space. I feel like if it is nothingness, then it just becomes nothingness. You're not perceiving nothingness. You know, I feel like that's a hard concept when people are like, it just goes black. It's not like the lights in a room just turn off.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I spend like a majority of like my life like really helping out my family, like always, like whenever they need bills paid, or like whenever they need to like help with food or like anything like that. I feel like I'd really go out my way to go to the stores and go get that food, or if I didn't have the money, go make sure that they had it. Or like, I feel like I really always went out my way for my family. And like, or for people like that I felt like really needed it, or for people I loved. I noticed that about myself. Like, I always put somebody else before myself, or I'll put like somebody I love or somebody I care about more like ahead of myself, because I feel like I don't necessarily feel like I don't deserve it, but I feel like they deserve it more. It's kind of like a weird kind of affliction I feel like I have.
Yeah. How come affliction?
I feel like it's affliction because it's like, I feel like that's not good. Like there's like a lot of situations where like if somebody else needed the money more than me, or if like I feel like, or if I feel like it's more like for an important thing, like I feel like it's always more important than myself. That's why I always feel like it's like a problem. Or like if it comes to like somebody needs clothes or anything like that, I feel like they're more important than I am. Like I feel like people always try to tell me to put myself ahead of everybody, but I can't do it. It's like I feel like they need it, or like they deserve it. It's like weird.
My mom is definitely liberal, which had the main influence on my views. But my dad and his side of the family is definitely more conservative. But my mom was another, thing to appreciate about my mother is that she just always let me just like be whoever, and I think that helped me be more open to like being aware of my sexuality, and discovering over time, even after moments of denial of a decade or plus, that I am a lesbian, and my mother was the first person I came out to.
How did she take it?
Oh, she took it super well. I still remember I was 15 years old, almost 16. It was October 27th, 2007. And I pulled my mom aside. I was like, Mom, I want to tell you something. and and I was like, I'm gay, and she's like, oh, it's okay. Like, I kind of already knew. I mean, go figure. But she's like, you know what? I love you no matter what. And that's one of the defining moments in my life. And I'm just grateful because there's so many other people that don't even have that acceptance. And but I definitely, my first kiss with a girl was when I was 4. When I was 2 years old, I grabbed a waitress's ass. There were definitely signs at every stage that I do like women.
I was always, I always had my questions about what we were taught. I believe in a higher power, that I call God, but someone else might call something else. And I just believe that, all beings have value, and that we're all connected in some way.